That's for later. Hi, boys and girls. Hi. Hi. All right, so let me tell you why I'm pissed off at you guys already. I'm going to start early. So I've been here for hour 15, something like that, hour 20. I don't know when I walked in, but over an hour and hour and a half. First hour I'm here, crickets. Very few questions, very few hands up, even though we were talking about biz dev. David did a wonderful job doing the lunch and learn. How many questions again? I don't know. I'm going to round up to 2. And it took Phil to ask the same question twice to get to 2. So crickets when David's talking. We have a guy up here talking about frickin' credit reports, and he had 15 questions within 5 minutes. Now, just want you guys to think about that for a second. Does a credit report matter if you don't have borrowers? You know this industry is looking for applications right now? You know the whole point of Kickstarter is to help you guys grow your business? But what you're focusing on and what the industry is focusing on right now is the silly stuff. I say silly, it's important, but the silly stuff that helps us feel good about knowing something or doing something, but we're not knowing and doing the right shit. Does that make sense to you guys? And the last hour and a half was just like right there in your face. Nobody's asking about biz dev. Nobody's going really deep about, hey, what topics did you talk to and how did you sell them on the lunch and learn? And what was new and what were you saying that was different than all the competitors in the lunch and learn? Because everyone asked that. Nope, no. But you want to know about trending in the 2-bureau FICO. Doesn't freaking matter unless you got borrowers coming in. So if this Kickstarter event is meant every morning to get you guys in a position where you're trying to get different strategies, different techniques to grow your business, I really encourage you guys to actually own that instead of saying that you're owning it. And guys, this is not directed at you guys personally. I'm saying this to everybody right now. I'm talking to recruits about it. I'm talking about my friends about it. I'm talking about other peers in this business who own companies right now. The industry is in a slight bit of disarray at the sales side. You guys have heard me say some of this before. And I'll tell you, just again, another very specific representation of something in the last hour. When I'm back there and I'm listening to everything in the last hour and a half, I have my PEQ up, which, you know, is just fun watching all that cascade every day, all the PEs come in. You know, while I was sitting back there for an hour and a half doing PEs, I found 6 PEs that were done wrong for Home Ready, Home Possible, First Time Home Buyer. Hang with me for a second. I've done 7 conference calls on this. Since the first week in November, when the announcement came out, I'm averaging 10 PEs I have to clean up where the LOs are quoting wrong to the customer or throwing in excessive PEs because they still don't understand it. Now, do you think I believe that they're incapable of understanding it? No, you guys can understand it. But it's different than what we've done for the last 3 years. So nobody's diving in and learning the hard shit and knowing every bit about the guidelines and every nuance of the guidelines and every nuance of why you can go this way and that way, and investing some time to get to know this stuff. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, so in this event, which is all about gaining knowledge, my question to you is, to what end? To gain some knowledge, or what? Does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel smarter? Because you will be. Heck, you learned a lot about credit bureaus. You did. You guys are way smarter than a lot of people in the industry about that. It's not going to make you any money. Maybe one deal a year that you can get a rapid rescore and get it and do a lesser PE and maybe you'll win it. That's not going to generate a huge influx of income to you guys. You guys agree with me there? You understand where I'm going with that? Okay, so where do you guys think the weak spot is in the industry right now as it applies to loan officers in general, the entire sales force? What is your perspective of the present state of loan officers right now? Loan officers. Not lack of inventory. We still have too many loan officers, so we're still too high in inventory with loan officers. What else? Okay? Yeah. What's that? Okay. Good. Like it. What else? Oh, Mark? Ooh, ooh, there's a gut punch. What else? Lack of drive. What? Like what? Self-marketing. Self-marketing. Okay. I heard what? Burnout. Burnout. How long do you let burnout go when the market changed 16 months ago? It's valid. There are some people who are still walking around with the fog in around them. But it was 16 months ago. Okay, we're done. The market changed last February. We're done. We're done. Okay, and ability pivot. So help me out. You guys are doing this with me. Because if I preach, we'll open up the hymnals and have you guys pick a number and we'll go from there. So I'm not preaching, so you guys are doing this with me. So what do you think moves somebody off the dime with that? What it will be the precipitating factor for somebody to change it? And here, I want to throw out one thesis here, and I'll come back here in a second. I believe that, yeah, we lulled a whole bunch of people to sleep in 20 and 21. And we also paid a lot of people more money than they ever expected to make in 20 and 21. We did. It was cool. This industry reaped the rewards of a pandemic. How twisted is that? We did. The industry doubled in size, number of transactions within 3 months, and then it continued for 2 years, all because of a pandemic. So we were bestowed a gift called COVID-19, right? Because of COVID-19, it was much different industry, much different originating loans, much different prospecting. All the stuff was different. We've forgotten some things. First off, I believe that we've forgotten, you guys know I like the color. So we've forgotten knowledge. I'm going to come back to that. So we've forgotten how to really understand something. You guys agree with that? Or no? You don't have to agree with it. I believe that we've forgotten how to dive into guidelines, for instance, and understand the nuance of a jumbo from city and when you can use it and when you can't. I can tell you that's true from the emails I get, from the Broker Pro questions that come in every day in Reason 12, and from the PEs I see. No freaking idea. I had one of those PEs I just approved, well, after I restructured it, was, wait a second, a first-time home buyer can go up to 100% AMI? A 0.38 PE, one away. Just one away. Now this is 5 months later. So we clearly have lost either the gumption, the intensity, or the ability to get really deep with knowledge. What else have we lost? My mind, your mind. Help me. What has the fleet of loan officers in the industry forgotten or lost? Yeah. What's that? Yeah. Tell me what you mean by skill. I like the answer. Tell me what. Okay, so you're talking about consumer-facing skills. Is that right? Which comes hand in hand with knowledge. Okay, I just put the ball on the tape for somebody else. What's missing out? Thank you. Skills in external. What's another?
Follow up.
What's that?
Follow up.
Follow up. Thank you. Follow up. You guys can't read my writing, so this is just for me. There's no chance you can read my writing. So tell me what losing skills externally means to you guys. Because I'm going to give you a different word. Yes. Customer service. Okay. Tell me what losing external sales skills really means. I'll give you two choices on this. And this is my brain. You guys can reject my theses, but so it goes. We've either lost the guts, which it always takes, or we're incredibly fearful, or we're just incredibly lazy because we made too much the last couple of years. We don't want to do it anymore. And I can tell you from talking to people on a daily basis, I find people in all three of these buckets. And I will tell you that of all the people I talk to, which guys, you have no idea, Shane can tell you, but I'm talking to a crap load of people every day. 80 to 90% of the industry are in one of these three buckets. Just by you guys being here, you're in the top 10 to 15% of the industry. You're actually thinking about doing something. No shit. You guys are thinking about doing something. I'm not saying you're doing something, because let me go into that for a second. I kind of slapped you across the face to open this up, but it's not indigenous to this company or to Kickstarter, to any of this. Because 2021 radically changed the industry, and then it radically changed back within 30 days, just 30 days. And within 120 days, you saw MBSs go up by 550 basis points, which was the most rapid increase in rates the industry has ever seen, not sometime, ever, okay? Like I've used this analogy so people could hear it. It's like you're driving on an expressway at 80 miles an hour, and all of a sudden there's a truck stopped in front of you, and you have to jam on the brakes, and shit's going to fly out of the car. People are going to break arms. Somebody's going to go through the windshield. Yeah, that's what happened in the industry. It's okay. But that's past. And it's been past for 16 months. And we're still wallowing in that. So you guys are here, and and guys, don't take this personally, but I'm going to slap you again. You're saying that you want to improve your business. You're saying you want to learn how to do something to grow your business. And I'm challenging you to tell you that less than 10% of the people actually do. They want to say they're pursuing something, but they don't actually want to do the hard shit. And this industry is sick with that disease right now because there was too much money floating around in 2021. Okay, over 25% of the market is already gone. NMLS numbers turned back in. Companies and LLs. Market's down 50, so it's not at equilibrium. I swear to you, we'll get to equilibrium. Who believes that there's not realtors, relationships, referral sources to be gained right now? Oh, for sure. It may not yield you results like in the next 2 weeks because of inventory issues. Okay. Everyone wants to use inventory as a panacea for, that's why I'm not writing loans. There's not enough inventory. Bullshit. We have loan officers all over the country that are writing loans. Is inventory low in other areas? Yeah. Are they still writing loans? Yeah. So here's the challenge I'm posing to you guys. I believe that the industry has always historically been an 80-20 industry, and it's been even a 90-10 industry, just like wealth in the United States, where, okay, top 20, if you make over $570,000, you're in the top 1%. Cool. But if you're in the top 20 people in the United States, you made over $2.8 trillion last year. Okay, so it's at top. And what do those people do differently? In other words, what are loan officers in this business who are growing their book right now? What are they doing that the rest of people aren't? And here's the thing I want you guys to hear. There is a difference in between wanting to sell, talking about selling, and being comfortable with being uncomfortable. I know you guys may have heard that before, but right now it's just banging in my head every day. I have loan officers I talk to. I have loan officers that I coach. Then I'll get back on the phone with them after 3 months of coaching, and I'm saying the same gosh darn stuff I did 90 days ago. Because they're afraid to do the hard shit. Now, the hard shit, when I say hard, I'm not talking about they have to go back for a nuclear science degree. No. It's calling people. It's meeting people. And I'm going to say this before Alex so you guys can hear it. But there's a hierarchy, guys. If you believe in the sales process in the United States, I'd say United States in our society, there's a hierarchy of connectivity. The first bit of connectivity, tell me, how about if I phrase it this way, guys? You help me. Ranging from social media to branding on a radio commercial to face-to-face, what do you think is the most potent means of growing a business? Okay, what is the weakest? Okay, just generic. How about just generic advertising? Okay, what's number 2? No matter what anybody tells you, it's still number 2. It doesn't mean it's not important. It doesn't mean it can't help you grow your business. But I can post all day long to my heart's content, and I won't get any loans. Likes don't equal loans. Followers don't equal fundings. Billboards don't equal borrowers. They can help you get a couple more once you have done what? Okay, so what's number 3? Going down. Most potent type medium for growing your business. Just medium. Call? How about email? Next strongest. Then, nope, you're missing one. Text. And then phone. And then face-to-face. And then face-to-face events together. Okay, this is your spectrum. Now, how many loan officers do you think in the industry right now are stuck right here? That's all they're frickin' doing. They're posting 25 times a day. When you call them out, they say, I'm working, I'm posting shit. I'm posting all day long. I put on LinkedIn, I put on Instagram, I put on Facebook. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. No, you're not. This can help you go from 3 to 5 deals. That's not going to take you from 0 to 3. Nobody's going to give you a loan until you have a relationship built. You guys agree with me here? Okay, so us as an industry, us as a company, you guys as branch, you guys as loan officers, the piece that we're missing right now, sorry I'm getting passionate about this, we are not developing relationships. And I swear to you, it's mostly out of either we got content in 20 and 21, or we're afraid to go back how we used to sell in 17 to 19, because there were times I felt uncomfortable. Good. It felt uncomfortable. I'm going to tell you a personal story, and you guys, I use this as a nugget, but I'll tell you, I'll give you a full 5 minutes on this. I had back surgery. How many years ago I had back surgery? Yeah, something like that. 4 or 5 years ago, I had back surgery. For the previous 5 years before that, I couldn't do heavy training. Now, I did for the first 20 years after I stopped playing sports. Worked with a personal trainer 3 days a week for like 20 straight years. Then blew out a vertebrae, trying to train myself. Yeah. Took a weight too low, popped the vertebrae, I was screwed. So I couldn't work out the way I wanted to work out. And then finally 5 years ago, I went and had back surgery. Most recent, I'm clueless sometimes. Most recently, my doctor said in November, you can start working out now. He had me come and test it. He said, you can go back to your trainer. So I'm like, cool. No, I'm a guy. I'm an athlete. This is going to be cool. I can go back and train again. So I go back to my trainer. The first session, he just puts me through the paces. All good. He said, all right, I'll see you on Wednesday. Wednesday, I get halfway through. He looks at me and goes, are you done? What are you talking about? He said, are you done pretending that you're actually working? I said, tell me what you mean. I'm paying you $200 an hour, so I'm not paying for the privilege of just doing nothing. He said, a couple things, guys. He said, when you're working on your upper body, you're actually looking down. You're not looking up, so you're not isolating the muscles. So you feel like you're working. You're pretending like you're working, but it's doing no fucking good. They said, you're doing squats. Great. You're pointing the toes out. You're cheating. It makes you feel like you're working because you have weights coming up and down, but you're doing nothing to change your body. Turn your toes in, get them back on your quads, and do some hard shit. He said, stop pretending that you're working. Because I'm not, he looked at me and said, I'm not in for this. I got people who want to get better. So if you want to get better, I'm in. If you just want to pretend like you're working out, cool, just do it on your own. But if you want to get better and you want to get back to where you were, you have to actually do the stuff that you know will make you uncomfortable. Now, why did my body or my brain not let me turn my toes in? It hurt. It hurt. If you do squats the right way, it hurts. If you lift your upper body the right way, it hurts. So what was I doing? Just tweaking a little bit, 5 degrees here, 10 degrees there, pretending to work out hard, I get a little bit of improvement, and I'd feel like I was working out for 75 minutes, 3 times a week with a trainer. And he just called me out. He said, bullshit. If you want to still work with me, you're actually going to have to do some hard stuff. If you want to do that stuff, go find somebody else, because I don't want to do that. Does this make sense to you guys? This is where we're at as an industry. If we say, I want to post stuff, I want to put something on LinkedIn, I want to put it on Instagram because all my people are on Instagram. My kids can't stay off Instagram. Yeah, your kids aren't selling mortgages. Your kids aren't buying houses on Instagram. And then I'll have people say, well, I emailed some people on transactions. I got the list from Mello 360 from my manager, and I emailed a bunch of realtors to see if they get together. Really? You emailed them. Then you get the next person, the next step. Well, I texted them. They never texted back. Did you expect them to? You texted them blind, and you expected them to? Shane and his group have put together such rich content and strategies for us to approach realtors, whether we have them in our grasp or not. But guess what the problem is with this? We can't get any freaking loan officers to do it. Generically, stereotypically speaking. Okay, there are a few, but we will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, dozens of hours, hundreds of hours creating stuff that we know will work if somebody implements it, and the loan officers won't do it. Now, why? Made a lot of money in 2021. Did they used to work like this? Hell yeah. A bunch of you guys have been in the business 20, 30 years. You know you had a street fight for a long time. It's like, yeah, okay, well, that was the old days. I don't want a street fight anymore. I'm 50 now. I don't want a street fight anymore. Okay, are you okay with your income going down 70%? Then don't bitch at us about the inventory being low, because it has nothing to do with the inventory being low. Because there are 8 loan officers out of 10 who are in their office right now with their branch manager somewhere saying, inventory is low, I can't get any apps. I got a lot of pre-quals. And there's 2 out of 10 that are saying, screw that, I'm going to go get the borrowers that are out there. And I'm going to tell them why they should do it now. And I'm going to show them what they could do now. And I'm going to stay on them. And oh, by the way, if I have 4 transactions every month, just minimally, okay, say 8 transactions a month. How many real estate agents is that roughly? 15. Okay, just if you had 8. Now let's pick 5. Let's round her. We got 5 transactions a month. They're all purchases. We have somewhere around 10 realtors each month that we're talking to, right? What do you know about realtors when you're holding their commission hostage? They pick up the phone every frickin' time. You're holding their $20,000 hostage for the next 45, or if you're in New York, 75 days. 75 days, you're holding their commission hostage. It is probably, for a lot of realtors, their house payment. Right now, in 23, it's their next 2 house payments that you're holding in their hands. If you screw it up, guess what? They can't pay their house payment. Do you think they're going to answer the phone right now if you call them? Do you think they'll meet you for coffee if you call them? Do you think they want to hear when a loan is approved? Do they think maybe you can meet them, depending upon your geography, meet them at the funding or after the funding or after the signing? Yeah. What do you think the attention span happens a day after the closing? You know, you may have wowed somebody that'll pick up the phone, but you go from 10 realtors who will answer the phone to maybe 1 or 2. I'm just blowing through markers. Thank you, Phil. Somebody's a gentleman. All right, you guys with me so far? So just say, and here's where I'm kicking in from watching in the back of the room. David Rodriguez is up here trying to give you an idea to generate more business. You guys didn't ask him any questions, relatively speaking. If I just kicked you in the ass, which was my full intent here, because I'm actually on a mission to kick the whole industry in the ass, because we're all laying down and pretending that we're dead. And it's not that bad. 1.7 trillion is going to be the 4th largest year ever in mortgage banking, where we're pretending it's like 300 million. It's not. It's a huge freaking year. It's all about how you attack it. So guys, if you knew right now that it's going to be the 4th largest year ever in the history of mortgage banking, ignore 20 and 21. 4th largest year ever. Yeah, there's going to be some pockets that have an inventory challenge, but people are still pre-qualing, buying, there's going to be a refinance boom at the end of this year. All this shit's going to happen. What would you do right now if you were actually serious about growing your business and you didn't want to pretend you were growing your business? Start doing what? Doing what? Doing what? Doing what? Help me, guys. I'm being an asshole for a reason. I'm being an asshole for a reason. I want you to hear this. Because the entire industry says, yeah, I'm going to market myself. Doing what? I don't know. I'm going to market myself. I'm going to buy a billboard. I'm going to buy a radio clip. I'm going to put something on LinkedIn. Okay, I'm going to call some realtors. What are you going to talk to them about? What are you going to tell them? Have you looked at anything Shane's put together with the people that have accomplished something in their cities or counties or states every quarter? Oh my gosh. If you knew 100 realtors in 10 zip codes all achieved something they never achieved before, and all you're going to do is call them and congratulate them and offer to post something for them, who's going to be pissed off at you for calling? It's not about who's going to be pissed off. It's about the people have fear for making those calls right now. They're either tied up in knots, tied around their own axle, or they're just, I'm comfortable. You know, I'm comfortable. I made X for 10 years, then I made X times 2 for 2 years. Now I'm back down to a little bit less than X, but I'm good because I front-loaded my retirement in 20 and 21. I'm good. I don't want to do the hard shit. I don't want to do the uncomfortable stuff. I want to be comfortable. I don't want to have to call somebody blind. I hate cold calling. Really? Who started in this business like more than 20 years ago? Who had a cold call every freaking day of their life for the first 90 to 120 days in business? Did it jumpstart your career? Did it kickstart your career? Yeah. Why aren't we freaking doing that right now? Because why? Because we've been in it 10 years? Because 20 and 21 were good? So we've now decided I don't ever have to do that again? Or I don't want to do that? Or my kids or my family or my spouse doesn't deserve me earning what I should be earning? Because I'm sitting on my ass and not doing the hard shit that I'm capable of doing? You guys with me here? I would encourage you also to make sure, for those people that are on with me on this, in with me on this, and are willing to get comfortable with being uncomfortable again. Like that should be your sweet spot. I'm going to do something today that I haven't done in a while, and I'm going to be good with it. I don't care if I fail. It's okay. I'm going to get comfortable with doing uncomfortable stuff and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And eventually it becomes easy. You guys know this drill. Heck, the first 2 times I did the squat number he put on my shoulders with turning my toes in, oh my gosh. That afternoon, I could not walk. The next day, I couldn't get out of bed. I'm like, all right, it's working. It's working. I can pretend I'm working out, or I can actually do something that changes something. So guys, without any degree of accountability, there's never any success. You guys know this intuitively. Either it's internal accountability, somebody helps you, hold you accountable here. Personally, but that's really hard to do because most people will fall off that wagon in a hurry to hold themselves personally accountable. Could be familial, could be somebody in your family who will help hold you accountable. Could be your manager, but the manager's in the room. I got to speak to you for a second. I'm going to give you a Dirty Harry quote that I want you to remember. Somebody taught me this 35 freaking years ago. A Dirty Harry quote. Who remembers Dirty Harry movie? Sorry. Average age of mortgage makers is 54 now, so most of you guys should remember Dirty Harry. I put no credence in the advice of anybody whose ass is the same shape as their chair. Straight out of Dirty Harry. Here's what it means. Unless you're doing it as a manager, your people are going to look at you and say, wait a minute, he's not doing it, she's not doing it, but they want me to do it? Screw that. So for you guys that are managers, you got to do the same stuff. Maybe not exactly the same activities, but maybe it is the exact same activities. But you have to do stuff that's uncomfortable for you because the industry is telling you there's money to be made, there's market share to be gained, but only for the bold and the brave. The people are going to go back to how the industry used to be, and we were street fighting on every corner for every frickin' loan, and not laying over and saying, you know what, right now, many people in this room, many people in this industry, many people in our company are acting like duck hunters. They're sitting in the weeds. They're sitting in the swamp waiting for the next flock to fly by, which is a refi boom. Maybe then I'll get a duck, instead of actually proactively going out and being a predator and killing stuff. Sorry, killing shit, instead of just going out and killing shit. So we're acting like duck hunters instead of predators. But most everybody in this room has been trained as a predator. So it's that skill set that we are actively deciding to put in the garage. When I heard skills, that's why I wrote that down when you said skills. It's not like people haven't been trained on these skills. Maybe a few people hadn't. They had a weak manager when they first got in the business. But we've all been trained with the sword fighting necessary to gain market share in this business. However, we decided, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm asking you guys to start doing that stuff again. And I could preach it like I just did. I could preach it 10 more times. I could teach first-time home buyer and home ready, home possible 8 times. But until people decide, I'm going to get better, doesn't mean shit. I'm still going to get 10 PEs a day that are effed up because somebody didn't pay attention to any of the trainings. And you guys have heard me say this before on some of these calls. It's not fixing the PEs. I can fix the PEs all day long. How many loans did they lose because they didn't know they were quoting wrong? Because they haven't mastered home ready, home possible, first-time home buyer yet. And just free products. What if they haven't mastered City or TD or First Horizon? Because they haven't mastered it in a time when it's street fighting, you're losing transactions, you're losing referral sources, you're losing the ability to market to those referral sources while you hold their commission hostage, and they will pick up your phone. You see how all this connects? So it starts with knowledge, which is where we started. The first thing I wrote down is knowledge. Agreed. But knowledge without some degree of intensity and desire doesn't matter. So sitting back in the back of that room, I'm watching you guys and think, somebody's talking about biz dev. We're going to sit on our hands. Somebody's going to talk about a credit report. We're going to ask all kinds of questions, even though it's not going to help you win another loan. But it makes us feel good about getting some knowledge as opposed to feel good about getting uncomfortable and going out and talking to 10 stray realtors who I'd never met before, but I have their data from Shane's department, and I can have a fertile conversation with probably 5 of them, but 5 people are going to tell me to go pound sand. You get 5 out of 10 to have a good conversation about what they achieved in the last quarter, and the other 5 are saying, I'm dealing with XYZ company, I don't want to talk to you. So what? But we haven't gotten back to the point where we're able to say, so what? We're still, I don't want to get rejected. I don't want to do something hard. I don't want to go to visit a real estate office. I don't even remember where my real estate offices are. I talk to them on the phone. I talk to them on Zoom once in a while. I do FaceTime. I haven't seen them in 3 years. You think I'm jesting, but I'm not. I coach people personally. They haven't been in. When I first start talking to people, they haven't been in an office in 3-4 years. How do you expect to grow the business, base the business? How do you expect to grow market share? And when you dig down and say, why aren't you doing all kinds of social media? That's not what I asked. Why aren't you? Well, I'm emailing them and I'm leaving them voicemails using slide dial. That's a tell too, right? They're using slide dial because they don't want to have a conversation. They'd rather leave an anonymous voicemail, bypassing the ring, because they'd rather leave a voicemail secretly than having a conversation with somebody. You think I'm jesting? I am not. You think the industry is not like this? It is. You think there's not people in this room like this? There is probably 20 people in this room right now who are thinking, yeah, that's me. And I can tell you from looking at statistics and looking at the reports I see that that's probably true. It's actually probably hard in 20. But it doesn't mean that people aren't qualified to get there, but there's a switch that needs to be flipped. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's us, sometimes it's your manager, sometimes it's a combination of all the above. But without the flip of the switch, we're going to languish here. We're going to do okay. Company's going to do good because we have a crap ton of loan officers. But you guys are never going to achieve what you could achieve. You guys, I've told you this before, but my 2 favorite parts about this industry are these. There's 2 points. Which finger I take down first? There's no barrier of entry besides passing a stupid test and not having a felony. No barrier of entry. You could have 6 years of education. You could have gone not even through middle school. Doesn't frickin' matter. 1 test, no felonies, you're in. Second thing, No income caps. Some of the highest producing loan officers in the country never came close to graduating high school. It's not about their education. Not about their pedigree, where they came from. It's not about they were handed a business by their manager. No. These guys actually just want it. They just want it. If you were able to walk into an industry, into a company, into a business where there's no barrier of entry, you just can't be a felon. Cool. No barrier of entry, and you can earn as much as you want to earn. Now, do me a favor right now. Talk to yourself mentally, the 22-year-old self. If I were to tell you those two things when you guys were 22, pass the test. You could probably study in 2 days when you're 22 and pass the test the next day. You can do it. So on the third day, you can pass the test. As long as you don't have a felony, you're in. And oh, by the way, you're not going to be like your parents where they earned $80,000 to $100,000 when they capped out after 30 years of working at the company that they worked at. You can earn 10 times that. You can earn 50 times that. And it's all up to you. It's just a matter of how hard you want to work, not in hours, but how much you want to turn in your toes, how much you want to leave your toes out. You want to do the easy stuff? Maybe you can make twice as much as your parents make. You want to turn your toes in and actually push yourself? You can earn 10 times. But here's the other corollary I want you guys to hear. I wasn't kidding with 8 out of 10 loan officers are on the other end of the spectrum, which means that if you guys turn your toes in, you are so far ahead of the remaining loan officers in this industry because most of them are not doing the hard shit right now. And they may never do the hard stuff again because they made too much money in 2021 or they got comfortable with being comfortable instead of comfortable with being uncomfortable and not willing to go back to that old state again of getting uncomfortable. It's not like anyone's going to kill you. They just may say no to you. Who cares? Who cares? They may not respond to my voicemail. Cool. They may not respond when I leave a voicemail about a tag from Shane about something they did. Cool. They may say no to me for going to coffee when I'm processing their loan or when their loan is in process with us before it closes. So somebody's going to say yes. And then that's when your knowledge kicks in. That's when your social media kicks in. That's where the voicemails kick in. Your smile kicks in. All that stuff kicks in. But without the face-to-face building a relationship, doesn't mean shit. That's why I was going back to when I was sitting in the back of the room. David's talking about building relationships. I expected probably 30 questions on that topic. But no, we got 30 questions about a credit report and FICO and trending FICOs. You see, I hope you guys are seeing this. This is an industry issue. We are focusing on the stuff that makes us feel good and feel like we're working, like our toes are out doing squats, instead of pointing our toes in and saying, okay, I'll figure out the FICOs. Teach me what I got to do tomorrow. Mark, Shane, Steve, Phil, Jamie, Rosella, teach me, what do I have to do tomorrow? Tell me what I got to do tomorrow. Tell me the script I should use with calling these realtors that I haven't processed, or these borrowers that I closed last year. Why are you guys not calling all the people you closed last year right now? We're not close yet to refinancing, but you will. You're going to be, in probably 3 more months, you're going to refinance everything you closed in 22, only if you get in front of your competition. How about anchoring that right now? Just right now. Hey, just want to check in with you. I know you closed in September. I think you got a cool rate then. You know, there's a good chance here that the rates are going to come down again in this fall. So if I call you again, it's going to be go time. So when I call you at the end of this year, make sure you pick up my message. Make sure you text me back. We'll do this really quick. Maybe we'll even get some documents ahead of time. I don't want you to miss the next refinancement because you guys bought in 22, which was a really weird year of interest rates. Why would you call every freaking customer right now? And it's not for the refinances. It is, but it isn't. Exactly. What about all the people that was before Home Ready and Home Possible waived all the LLPAs? And the first-time home buyers waived all the LLPAs. Do you know how many pre-quals the realtors still have in their drawers? I know this factually because I talk to realtors. I know. I talk to realtors. So I talked to realtors already. They did not know that you could get a Home Ready, Home Possible FTHB down to like 6.5.99-ish. They're like, I got people in my drawer that were freaked out by 6.5 and 6 3/4. Are they underneath 80% or 100% AMI? I think so. You realize you can give them 6-ish right now? No. They'd be comfortable with 6. Like, why do our realtors not know this stuff? Give me an answer. You got spinning on both sides. But they claim that they're working. I'm posting. I'm showing pictures. I'm on TikTok. Seriously. I'm on TikTok as realtor. Okay, so both the groups are spinning. Why us? Because we're not educating them. Why are we not educating them? 2 reasons. We don't freaking know. And I'm proving it to you with the PEs I see every day. We don't freaking know. And we don't have the guts we don't have the guts. We'll flip again. We don't have the guts to actually go out and expose ourselves again. Because what happens if I go talk to Susie and Petey, the realtor, and they say, "Yeah, we know all about it. I don't need to hear about it." What are you gonna do? Walk in your, mowing out the door, put your head in your hands, and they turned me down. Who freaking cares? There's like 86 more realtors on the same street. Perfect opportunity. And oh, by the way, you know why I expected you to know that answer, Susie? Because you were the #1 FHA realtor in this county in Q4. Thank you, Shane Stanton. How is this a bad appointment? How is this a bad face-to-face meeting? I don't see a downside except for people have to get a little uncomfortable again, which for some reason we're diametrically opposed to right now, and is directly, I want you to hear this because then I'm just answering any questions you guys have after my rant. I feel like Dennis Miller. Our income, your income, is directly correlated to how uncomfortable you're going to make yourself in the next 90 days. Your W-2 for the next 12 months is directly tied to the harder shit you're going to do in the next 90 days. If you don't do any of the hard shit, your W-2 is not going to change. If you do some of the hard shit in the next 90 days, your W-2 will change, I guarantee you. And it's not for lack of tools or products at this company. I talk to recruits daily. I know how our value proposition of what we have, from products to pricing to structure to Shane's data on the realtors to Shane's quarter tags, the stuff that we put out, to even be able to, every contract you get, you can look at both realtors online and find out which one only did 2 transactions last year and which one did 36. Who are you going to devote your time to? The 36 one, not the one who did 2 for each year for the last 6 years. The 36 one who, oh, by the way, did 20 of the 36 for FHA, and they're right around the corner from your house, but you didn't even know who they were. Okay, we can give you that data on every contract that you bring in the door. Once again, though, doesn't mean anything if I give you the data and you say, yeah, that's nice. Okay, I learned how to do lunch and learn. Hey, that's nice. I learned how to go do face-to-face meetings with people when something's in process. Yeah, that's nice. Unless you actually do something with it, unless you put your toes in and say, okay, this is going to hurt, but I'm going to do it. This is going to make me uncomfortable. I'm going to be sore tomorrow, but I'm going to do it. Until you guys get to that inflection point, doesn't mean anything. When you do get to that inflection point, I'm telling you, there's a green field in this industry right now for people who are willing to do the hard shit. And again, it's not nuclear physicists. It's not. It's not nuclear physics. It's not digging a ditch. It's not going in a coal mine 10 hours a day. This is just going talking to people, and some of them are going to say no. Is that hard? Is anyone going to die? Is it going to kill your ego if 4 out of 10 people, 8 out of 10 people say no? Do you know how many people say no to Shane and his team on a daily basis? Seriously, just think about this for a second. They grow our franchise. 100 dials a day. 100 dials, one of your people make 100 dials a day, right? What do you think the average no is out of 100? 95 out of 100 no's. But yet our loan officer is like, yeah, I don't want to do that. They may say no. Realtor may not like me calling them, even though I'm holding their commission in my hands for the next 45 days. Holy crap. You realize that these are excuses that we are putting up psychologically ourselves. And it is. It's human nature, guys. We're putting it back. We haven't had to work this way for the last 3 years. Now we do. So we're putting up reasons why it can't work or it won't work, but I am doing this. It's self-protection. We're putting up these defenses, but the defenses don't earn you money. Action, activity, intensity earns you money. This shit makes nobody anything. I'd rather all you guys double your W-2 than sit here, come back here next year with the same W-2 because, yeah, I didn't do that. Didn't really feel good about that. I wasn't in a good space to do that. That was what I got from a kid I was coaching last week.
I'm into
not really in a good spot right now. It's like, what? I'm not in a good spot right now. You know, we had a hard transaction and a borrower left me. I'm like, yeah? Get back up to the plate, take another swing. Get over here. So we've gotten a little bit soft and we've gotten lazy and we're afraid to get uncomfortable. Does that make sense to you guys? That's a serious rant with no breathing. What questions does this group have before I get out of here?
Well, I'm in for the double, so I'm just saying I'm willing to do that. So who's got questions for Tom?
Any topic, anything, not just on my rant. What do you guys got?
I have questions.
Jamie's got one.
Thank you, Jamie. Wait, is this on? Yes. Not just on your rant, but if I could just circle back to getting folks to get the knowledge to then feel comfortable to go out. For example, you have done probably seven. Exactly seven.
I
know you. I was saying, I know 5 for sure. I've done 3 with my own, your PowerPoint, my own PowerPoint, and I am constantly amazed when I say to a team of people, let's say, if I tell you you're required to take 3 hours out of your month. Let's say you work 5 hours a day only. I need 3 of those. Watch the national sales call, take my call, and watch one thing like that. And it's not happening.
Let me have
to educate, but because now the person goes, oh, what am I going to say? Well, you're supposed to know this, but how do you gauge it?
So let me hop on this. A couple things you brought up. First off, the education piece. Number one thing, because it's the clearest biz dev piece, is Shane's freaking data. If every one of our loan officers doesn't know how to get, see, use Shane's data, shame on freaking us, all of us. Nobody else has it. Nobody has it as rich as we do. That's just it's like uranium sitting here and everyone's like, oh, what is that? I don't know. It's worth $1 million an ounce, but what is that over there? It doesn't look good. I'm not going to go over there. So first off is learn that stuff. And every loan officer in the room, if you do not know how to use Shane's data, level 360, quarter tax, all this shit, get somebody to get you the info quick. Secondly, the good thing about when I talk to a group this size instead of a huge group, there are subgroups inside of here. There's a group of 10 loan officers in this branch and 5 loan officers in this branch and 862 in Phil's branch. So you have these branches this week.
This week.
It's going to be 900 next week. So you are in subgroups of branches. That allows you to teach differently. And the smaller the group, the more that you could be naked. And I'm telling you, the people right now, again, society right now, I'm going to take out the word mortgage people. Society right now has forgotten how to learn. Let me give you a stupid analogy here real quick. Sorry. Good question. So, there's this big controversy right now in the entire United States about AI GPT, right? With the chat, right? And college students and even high school students are using it to write term papers, right? So there's big controversy. But let me ask you a question that nobody's asking. Who says the professors aren't using it too? Who says the professors aren't grading the papers using AI? So we've dumbed ourselves down as a society with learning, and we have to go back grassroots. If I'm talking about practically in our business and your offices, go back to grassroots for, okay, everybody take the guidelines. It's Friday. You take it home. Tuesday, we're going to be in a meeting. And Tuesday, you get a meeting, everybody in the room, and you put people on the spot to answer the freaking question. Because the biggest still motivator of knowledge for human beings is what? No, not failure.
Fear.
Nope. Public embarrassment. It is the number one fear in human beings, which is why public speaking is so bad for people. Public embarrassment is the number one fear. It's also the number one motivating factor to learn stuff. So I'm not telling you to embarrass everybody, but say, hey guys, here's the guidelines for home ready, home possible, first time homebuyer, for instance, or TD, or First Horizon. I want you to take that home. You two guys take that home. You two take this one home. You two guys take this one home. And when we come in, I'm going to ask questions and see if you get the answers right in front of the entire group. They'll learn it. And not only will they learn it because of public embarrassment, we need them to learn it. Because if they don't learn it, they lost transactions because they didn't know it. They didn't know that you could take off one borrower on an FTHB and just use the wife's income and not the husband's income and quote 6 1/8 instead of 6 5/8. They didn't know. They didn't know that one borrower could have been owned a house, but the other one never owned a house because it's a remarried situation, and the wife or husband, the second borrower, never owned a house, so that fits. You wouldn't believe how many times I get that in my email. Like, okay, $250,000 loan, and it's a 95 LTV, and it's not going first-time home buyer. I email back and say, is this a first-time home buyer? Well, the husband is, so we can't go FTHB. I'm like, what about the wife? No, this is our first house. I said, so why aren't you going first-time home buyer? I didn't know you could do that. Conference call number 8, coming teed up right there. So you can use these smaller groups to try to educate and impress and get deeper faster. Because if I do another divisional call and there's 800 people on the phone, it'll make me feel good, but that's about it. I may get one person who listens out of 800. It's a really poor use of 90 minutes of time with 800 people on a call. But if you're sitting in a room with 6 people and somebody doesn't know the answer that the other 5 people do, they're not going to forget it the next time. You guys can curate it in a different manner. And I use the analogy of the ChatGPT because the entire country is dealing with this issue that people have forgotten, the society has forgotten adult learning behaviors because we're relying on different means and mechanisms. And we'll look at Instagram and that becomes fact. Or we'll look at Facebook and that becomes fact instead of doing the research. We've dumbed ourselves down. Now, the inverse of that is, though, there's a huge freaking opportunity because there's 8 out of 10 loan officers who are doing exactly that. You can be one of the 2 out of 10 that actually knows the shit and goes out and tells people, no. That can be done at 6%. Let me tell you why. I don't need the pension income and the Social Security income. I don't. Just leave it off the app. I can still do 6%. They can qualify right now. They can have the payment that they're comfortable with. But I need our loan officers to actually do that. And I need our managers to help the loan officers get that. And the smaller the group, the more effective the learning and training will be. So sorry, long answer. I want to hit both of them. You're welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I consider myself one of those street fighters that you were talking about. I've been calling 50 realtors and grinding, and I guess doubt might be the word that I would use to describe what's happening now, because I'm talking to a bunch of sad pandas. You know, it's like, oh, like, or ER, like, and
how many ERs do you see in the room?
I've done lunch and learns for 6 months, and I talked about, went on a campaign at the beginning of the year, and I talked to 40 of the top producing realtors in this area. Thank you, Shane. And I got appointments with all of them, which was great. Or half of them, 20 of them. And of those 20, none of them kept track of their leads. None of them kept track of had no idea where their business came from. So that turned into my Lunch and Learn campaign. And, you know, I've been doing them consistently now for about 4 months. And I'm noticing that the people are coming less and less. So the first one I did had like 25 people, and it was 10. And I haven't changed anything I've done. But now I feel like, you know, going into this month, I'm like, is this working? Do they even care?
There's a lot to learn there. First is, it feels like there may be one thing missing from the equation that makes it potent enough for them or sticky enough for them. And I want to go back, and you may have done this, so ignore me if I'm saying something you did. But what I learned early in my career, and I was taught by somebody really smart in this, that when you go out and meet with a realtor, whether you're doing them or not, whether you're doing business with them or not, especially the ones that you've been able to target from the rich data that Shane's group puts out, right? One of the key phrases that they taught me to use was, man, you are way better than the rest of the realtors in your office or in your city or in your county. You kind of tell me or teach me what's special about what you do. And the key word in that sentence was special. Said, don't you ever go out to a high producer and not use that word. Because if you use the word special, they hear it, it trips a wire in their brain like, that person thinks I'm special. They respond better. They are more apt to refer back because of the human principle of reciprocity. If you're going to say something nice about me, then I have to say something nice about you to somebody, which breeds faster referrals. But I'd love to see your lunch and learn kind of agenda, because it feels like there may be one component that's missing. I don't know what it is till I do it, but you're also on the long game, which I really appreciate, and I appreciate you starting the marathon, because you are maybe one of 3 people in the room that are actually doing that. So congratulations for putting in the effort and working hard. Let's see if there's anything we can tweak, and Shane absolutely can help you with some of the data if he hasn't given you everything already. Okay, what else, guys? Yeah.
We do a lot of like event focus and a lot of things that we're talking about, lunch and learns, things like that. But one of the things I think, you know, and some of the other people in our office may struggle with how to take that above and beyond and actually kind of progress to where we're seeing business. Like, you know, it almost feels like a lot of times we're doing these things.
Okay, so before you get there,
yeah.
I'll help you there. But before we, I'm going to lose this again. Before you get to the answer that I want to give you, where do you think lunch and learns fits in this 1 out of 7? I think it's 5.5. It's not one-on-one, face-to-face. It's a group of people. It's not interpersonal. You're not doing instigating or triggering any of the reciprocity, psychological reciprocity things, and people can hide. Lunch and learn, you could have 10 people in the room and 7 people could be on their phone. And they will be. And statistics will tell you that 4 out of those 7 will be on Instagram or TikTok the whole time you're there. No joke. I'm not making fun of it. It's actually freaking true. TikTok has had a 600% increase in users and time spent in the last 12 months. 1 out of every 5 U.S. citizens over the age of 10 feel like they can't get off TikTok all day long. So I brought that up because lunch and learns can lead you to believe I'm doing the right stuff without actually getting to the one-on-one, face-to-face stuff. It is a means of getting to the one-on-one. That's the 45 minutes afterwards. It's a means to getting to the one-on-one, and you may have 10 people doing a lunch and learn, and you only end up having one really good 15 minutes with it. That's okay. That's okay. So the face-to-face stuff is here, is way above the lunch and learn, but what was your second question inside there? So you guys, I think I said this on last divisional call with all 3 regions. I know what I've done already because I got some neighbors who own real estate firms. And here's what I told them. And it's stupid. It's not bad. It's actually true, but it's not hard. I said, how many transactions do you think last year you had people who wanted to buy and then get freaked out? Oh, my office, we probably had 100 in the 4th quarter alone. What did they get freaked out by? Well, there was a shortage of inventory, then the rates skyrocketed up, and then they weren't comfortable with the house payments. Okay, you guys think about those couple questions I just asked. 9 out of 10 people will give you the exact answers I just gave you, because they all believe that is what's holding them back from making money this year, okay? So just say, go take the next leap with that and say, you know, I'm willing to do something with you. I'm willing to do a test with you. Let me come into your office, have all your agents tell me the people that didn't buy because they were freaked out by financing in the 4th quarter. I bet you before I leave that night, I'll find $100,000 in commissions on your floor. People that are at 7.25 in November now are at 6 on a home ready or first-time home buyer. Yes, that's actually accurate. In November, December, we were over 7. And that was before the FTHB kicked in, the hit. And now they're at 6 I approved 2 PEs today for people with 70 bips cup at 5.99 on home ready, home possible, first time home buyer. So let me play that out with you. What did I just communicate to that agent, that broker owner or to that agent? Business to be done. 2, I'm on your side. 3, I'm willing to devote my time to help you earn money. Time and expertise. What is my downside? Okay, even if I ask 5 people that and 4 say no, what is my downside? It's like free advertising. I'm here to help you grow your business. Maybe it's not right for you right now, but I'm here to help your business. I'll give you a weird analogy, and Shane, I promised I'd come back to it. So when I was growing my business, when I was originating, this is back, 1986 was my first day out on the street. So what I learned pretty quickly in the first couple of years of originating is that rarely did purchase transactions get moved up. Okay, it didn't go from August 31st to August 25th. Rarely. But I also figured out that because I had a kick-ass processor, I really did, who has worked for me for 33 years since. I had a kick-ass processor who worked with me. She said, hey, any transaction you want, we can rock it out. We can get it done really fast. So within like the first year and a half of originating, I became known in my individual MSA as the loan officer who offered to get them paid faster. How many people took me up on it? I don't know, maybe once a month. Did I care if we closed on the 26th versus the 31st? No, I didn't care. I get paid on the 15th or 30th. Doesn't matter to me. But what I did was, as soon as we got a loan approved, hey, Susie, we got your loan approved. We could close this sooner. If you can get with the seller and move it up, we can get both you guys paid sooner. I don't care if you do a rent back or whatever. We can get your commission check sooner. When you do that, I was doing 30 purchase transactions a month. When you make 60 of those phone calls a month for a year straight in a marketplace, guess what I got known as? The guy who moves up closings and the guy who pays people fast. That's what I got known as. So I use that analogy for this. Even if you go offer this service of looking through the pipeline of pre-qualified buyers or people who even called the real estate office and you get 4 no's and 5 yeses, the 4 no's just heard, you are willing to invest your time and your expertise to help me make more money. There is no downside. There's no downside for me offering to move a closing up. None. None. As long as I got 48 hours notice, I can close anything. It's clear to close. Who cares if it closes in 26 days? But I used it as a marketing stream to take it to the agents because I wanted to be known as a person who closed stuff fast and moved up closings and got them paid quicker. Same thing for this. I'm going and just saying, I'll help you make more money. I'm willing to invest my time. Let's go. Wednesday night. I'll come in at 6, we'll order some pizza, have all your agents bring in everything in the 4th quarter of last year where people were afraid of the interest rates. We're going to call them. And I will find money on your floor. And if I don't, all we did is we freshened up some of your relationships with your people who you talked to in the 4th quarter. So that when they are ready this year, you've talked to them again. Remember, the NAR says that even for home buyers who went closed with a realtor, 64% of the people who closed do not remember the realtor 12 months later. Now, that's somebody who closed. That's somebody who did a pre-qual or went to see one house with. So you're helping no matter what. Sorry, Shane. Took me a long time.
Plan that I was. Is this?
It's done now.
Or what? Give you a 45-minute talk on something. And has that 45-minute talk changed anyone's business? Once? No. What is the coach? Then why is the coach on the stage? What's the point to being on stage presenting for 45 minutes to this audience? What are they trying to do? They're trying to get you to go, huh, they're smart. That's somebody I would like to ship $1,000 a month to make me better at what I do. And now when you send them that $1,000 and you've got a one-to-one relationship, what is that coach actually going to do? They're actually going to have an impact on your business. Why? Because what they're doing is they're sitting down with you and saying, you need to go do these specific actions to get the results that you're looking for. You need to behave in this way. You need to be accountable to these things, and your results will change. When we do lunch and learns, we're no different than that coach. We're not going to change any of those real estate. Kickstarter is not going to change your business live. The actions that you take after this are the ones that are going to change. The lunch and learns are designed, in my opinion, what Tom just said. He landed the plane. He jumped. That's why I want to get ahead. I knew you were going to jump there. Is to get that one-on-one with the realtors that are high potential realtors. And I'm going to work with you one-on-one, and we're going to increase each of our businesses. That's how lunch and learn should work. Because if you're just sharing information, they're human beings. They're the same damn human beings as we are in this room. They're not going to change their behavior unless we make them do it as partners. Right? Jamie, you were asking, kind of like, hey, we've got these 3 seminars, and how do we educate? I don't even know if it's about the public embarrassment. It's we need to go that second or third layer. Information is nice. Talking about information is nice. Forcing somebody to put it into practice is how the change happens and how the education happens. So if you're a branch manager in this room and you come off that national meeting, it's not just, hey, come back and let's talk about it. It's come back and how are we going to apply this? And then when we apply it, we're going to come back together and we're going to talk about the results. It might not work. Who knows? But I know doing something is better than doing nothing. Right? So Tammy, like Thomas said, I mean, you are, of all the people I recruit, that shit doesn't happen. But why the attendance is dwindling is you haven't forced them to make the behaviors that is going to make them better, that's going to make them want to come back for more. Does that make sense? And the way that you get people to come back for more is force them to do the actions. This right here will dwindle if you guys don't get better out of this. Does everyone agree? You know, Rosella drove down from Boston. She loves seeing everybody, but at some point she's like, it's just not worth my time. I can do better things here. So when you're out working with realtors, data and quarter tags, thank you for saying my name 1,000 times. But realistically, that shit doesn't matter. What matters is when you use that to get in front of them, it's not face-to-face meetings. Number 6, that's great. It's face-to-face meetings with purpose. It's activity and change. How we get our business to the next level.
I wish I could actually read number 6, because I can't read number 6 from here. So here, I'll give you one sentence that Shane kind of synapsed there. A plan without action steps and consequences is a charade. In every industry, really true in our business right now, because nobody is actually going that deep to make a plan with action steps, with consequences, as an individual, as a group, as somebody being coached. I'm talking in general. Nobody's specific in here, although some of you guys may be owning it inside. It is clearly an illness, an influenza that's inside of our industry because of 20 and 21, and we need to pop out of it and pop out of it fast because it's still a $1.7 trillion year. Holy shit. And we're complaining about volume not being there. So work on that. Anything else, Lisa, before I just completely dominated your clock?
No, you did. I put myself in after Tom Fiddler, which is, always a little scary to get up on stage after Tom, but I did that with the intention that, I want you to spend time with him. He flew out here. Ask him questions. I'm telling you, getting the guy on the phone is tough. He's talking to a lot of people. Dave?
Senor Rodriguez.
Hello. First, I want to start with a compliment, because after that, so thank you. This is this is great. I love your intensity. I wish I would have seen it before. This is my first time seeing you like this, so this is great. When it comes to market, so a lot of us are in high cost areas, right? And pricing is always an issue. So we're doing what we need to do. So for example, for me, I know that my pull through is going to be a lot less because we're competing with some. Okay,
so hold on one second. Before we go into that bad alley, I'm going to try to throw up a little bit of a horse in front of that alley.
Let's do it.
Do you know that Barrett's writing over 10 first-time homebuyer loans a month right now?
Yeah.
Barrett, personally. Do you know also, well, I'm sure you know this, that the FTHB in high cost goes to 120, right? Cool.
Yep.
Everybody knows, well, people should know that. They don't, but people around their game know that. Do you also know that annually, next week is when the new AMI numbers come out? Do you you know that they anticipate the AMI having the largest year-over-year increase in the history of the United States government next week.
Okay, woohoo.
So
That's good
just
news.
say that AMI goes up by 20%, which is probably kind of conservative because you guys know what happened last year. Wage inflation drove the market crazy, which is why we're here where we're at with interest rates. It was driven by wage inflation. Okay, so if you go from 160 at 120% of AMI in some of the areas in this room, 163 in Connecticut, I think it is, if we're at 120%, to 200,000 is 120% of AMI. You go to 120% of AMI, and it goes up darn near 200,000. If I know that's coming out next week, and DU and LP will be updated in May, guess what I'm going to talk to all of my realtors about right now?
Yeah.
Right damn now. Because the numbers are going to come out. It's going to take Fannie and Freddie a couple of weeks to put the change in their AUS. But I'm going to talk to the agents right now. Hey, we're going to get a whole new swath in this net that we can put in people at below market interest rates using the FTHB thing, or even using the Home Ready, Home Possible, depending upon if you're out in Jersey or if you're in some of the boroughs. You know, and heck, the 3 flats, what the fish? So you have 120% of a new AMI number that's going to be 120% to begin with. So it's going to be 120 of 120, and you can get it to a huge number. Once again, here's the principle, David. Even if it amounts to nothing from the agents, not one more transaction, if you go out this week and tell them this, I want you to go back to your files and keep your eyes out for this, because you probably have somebody in your drawer from the last 6 months that didn't fit that will fit next week. What downside is there? What do you come off as? How are you perceived? The guy who's got his shit together. I'm ahead of the news. I'm ahead of, sorry, well, him. He's a guy. You, okay, you're the person who's on their shit, ahead of the marketplace, ahead of anyone else talking this. I'd go tell 20 people this. 'Cause yeah. So I go back to the answer I gave at this, but thank you, Shane. You're right on the nose. I would try to do almost all these face-to-face. And not only face-to-face, saying, show me all the people you talked to in the fourth quarter. Let's see who fit here and we can come together. Let's find commission on your floor. Let's find commission in your drawers. Let's do it together. Because it breeds all kinds of relational stuff, reciprocity, immediate earnings, all that is right there. And the byproduct is this person knows their shit. So and you probably had to do a different question, David. I wanted to stop you on the high bail stuff.
We're going to be just not as polished, I should say. So looking at, you know, people that are in the jumbo areas, if there were a couple products we want to highlight and things that we need to pivot and shift, we know home ready, we're going to talk reno here in a bit, like reverse, like where VA, right? Like so, where should us as an institution, like if we're right now having some troubles in certain areas, where would you today, in the next 90 days, tell me in Manhattan, people that make $600,000 plus? Okay, so you're 45 days early, and here's why I say it. Okay. That's what I want to hear. What happened with Silvergate, which nobody even heard about, what happened with SVB, what happened with Signature Bank, it ain't going to stop. And because those 3 banks that went down in a matter of 2 weeks and 2 days, from San Diego, you know, to Silicon Valley, to New York, all in a matter of 2 weeks and 2 days, gone. That's not over yet. And part of the if you did a whole bunch of research as to what caused that, mortgages were a big part of the problem inside of SVB and Signature Bank. And by the way, Silvergate Bank was the 2nd largest warehouse lender in the United States. So there was mortgages that were part of the exposure that caused that issue. Okay, here's why that's important. The money center banks, I believe in the next 45 days, are going to step
back from being as aggressive as they have been with the ARMs. And, I'm sorry, any mortgage backs, ARMs and fixed, because they just watched 3 institutions go in a matter of 48 hours from $5 billion in net worth to 0. And so they will step back a little bit. That also means our internal products will fill the gap. Because the main reason why RJA has not been as beneficial or close in the marketplace, because the money center banks had a cost of funds at 0 when note rates were at 5. Okay, I can make a 4 3/4 interest spread. Cool. Well, now that's narrowed, and now you got the exposure of, hey, if I'm holding on to too many of these, the Fed may come in and make me sell some. So maybe if I'm going to do these, I'm not going to do them at such aggressive rates. I'm going to do them slightly higher. And when they do them slightly higher, then the private takeouts that are behind JA will become parallel. So I think in the next 30 to 45 days, you watch it, I think JA is going to come back in the market. And I think you're right. It's been 2.5 years. And it's been 2.5 years since JA has been in the market because of mortgages going up 500 bips while the cost of funds wasn't changing. The banks were printing money. Well, now a few of them got their clock cleaned because they loaded up too much on them. So I think that's going to cause them to pull back. Our money center people who are not banks are going to buy the JAs for yield. We'll hold on to the servicing. So JA, I think, is going to be way more relevant within 30 to 45 days. And our nuances of our guidelines with JA will then become as advantageous as they were 3 years ago. Okay, you want me to stop, right? Because I'll just go on.